Welcome back to AWS Summit Live on the Twitch stand here. I'm Shane Baldacchino, Solution Architect, co-host of the AWS Tech Chat podcast, and I'm joined by two very special people here. I probably like to think of them as, pretty much some friends here. So today we're going to have a chat with some friends. I'm joined by Dr. Peter Stansky. I think his job title might be King of the World these days.
In my own lunchbox perhaps, but hey guys, welcome back to the stream. So I run the solution architecture team for Australia and New Zealand, and I'm proud to have Shane in my team, but I'm also proud to have special guests from Carsales here today.
Yeah, so we're joined by Jane Oy, Head of Technology and Operations at Carsales. Welcome, Jane.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
So look, many of you who may know me know my passion is motorbikes and cars, and I don't think you can live in Australia and not know of Carsales. But for our guests listening abroad, Jane, are you able to tell us a little bit about your role at Carsales, and more importantly, what Carsales does?
All right, so Carsales is an online automotive classified business. What we're doing really is we help customers to buy and sell vehicles online. We've got a main website, carsales.com.au. Any given day, we've got more than 200,000 vehicles online for sale. My role at Carsales is I'm the head of technology. So what I do is I head up technical teams to solve technical problems and to produce solutions for our customers, really.
Yeah, and I believe you've been at Carsales for some time. You've had a gamut of roles.
11 years, yes.
11 years, so from developer all the way through to where you are now, which is really special and amazing here.
And by the way, we have Zorkis who's interacting with us, saying hi to you.
Hi. Okay.
Just a hello. So guys, remember, it's an interactive show, right? So
yeah.
Please provide feedback or questions, and we'll happily tackle that here on stage.
Yeah. So I guess one of the things that Pete and I do in our spare time, we run a little podcast, and we actually spoke last Friday, Pete, around Elk, or the Elk Stack, Elasticsearch, Logstash, Kibana, which is a common search engine framework used by a lot of companies these days. And it's interesting to hear that whilst a lot of organizations move down the Elasticsearch stack, Carsales has kind of bucked the trend and moved down a different path. So Jane, can you please tell us today a little bit about the search journey at Carsales and what search means to Carsales?
All right, so we do use Elasticsearch in some of our platforms, but not as our main primary search engine. Search for us is important because, the key thing we do is matching a customer to their dream car or their dream bike in your case. So when we started using we initially started using a lot of third-party solutions. This was in the good old days, more than 10 years ago maybe, and we found that they got outdated really quickly. We couldn't scale them, and most importantly, it was really hard to customize or localize them to suit our customer base. So we had a team that pretty much started prototyping a search engine that started around 8 years ago, and that sort of took off because it worked for us. We were able to do things that we couldn't do with other search engines back then, and we've built a really good search team around it, and that's sort of taken off. We've even patented a few of our stuff, so we've got a guided navigation that we've patented called iNav, and quite a few things that's really helped us to cater for our customer base.
That's really awesome. So tell us a bit more about, so you used AWS behind the scenes as well, quite a lot to actually power the search engine. It's quite an amazing architecture you've got. Can you share some of the secret sauce with people on Twitch?
Yeah.
Just us and the closest friends that are watching us.
So our search journey, so we started with our initial version of search engine that wasn't built using AWS because that was 8 years ago. We started around 2-3 years ago looking at globalizing our search platform because we were expanding globally to South America then, and we had to sort of customize our search engine into a different language to support different data structures. So that's when we looked into AWS to see what AWS could offer us, and we realized that you guys do a lot of things that would cost us a lot more to do, like scaling, redundancy, supporting global regions as well. So we looked into AWS and realized that...
If we can switch to an architecture slide here to talk through the architecture that Carsales is using.
Yep, so we utilize AWS for quite a few things like Lambda function, Kinesis event streaming. So when a seller tries to create a vehicle on our seller platform, we get a CRUD event coming through our messaging platform into a Lambda function that processes it and then passes it on to our storage layer. Now, our storage layer is agnostic, so in this example, I've used S3, but it could be Dynamo, it could be anything that works for you. We also use our Kinesis stream to then feed the data back into our search API, which
So
holds the
we
search
just have slide
indexing.
brought up then.
Yeah.
We have, yeah.
That's the architecture, right?
Yeah.
So I guess you're ingesting events, someone's maybe put a car for sale, or maybe they've changed the price, it's going in,
Yep.
you're doing some data transformation
Yeah,
on
we're
that?
doing a data mapping in Lambda before we store it into storage. Yeah.
So I've got a question from the audience. So Philippe Alvarez, 1982. What is the coolest AWS tech that is used at Carsales?
Ooh, that's gonna be a hard one. They're all pretty cool.
Any particular favorites?
I
I know
like,
you're not allowed to have favorite technologies, but
No, we don't.
sneak in one or two.
I'm a bit boring. I like the serverless stack because that makes my life a lot easier as a developer. So I come from a development background, so yeah, anything that makes infrastructure easy works for me. We've got other teams working on really cool stuff like SageMaker, Personalize. We've even got team looking at trying to get their hands on Big Racer at the moment. So we do a bit of everything, I think.
So quite a lot of cool tech. Yeah, you guys are pretty progressive. It's very impressive.
Yeah. So in terms of, I guess, when we're designing architectures, we often have to do architectural trade-offs. So, what trade-offs did you make when going down the 1Search path?
I think there was a few, but the main thing for us was we wanted to improve our system, and because we went through the effort of building our own search platform, 1Search, we didn't want to. We wanted a lot more control of search. So having to look at something like AWS and go, should we just utilize what they give us for free, or should we, continue the path of building our own? I think eventually we decided that, we'll rely on AWS for a lot of things that they do well, and that makes our life a lot easier because our search team then, they just focus on building good search indexes. There's complex B trees and stuff like that I won't know about.
Okay.
That's a great topic, complex B trees, balanced B trees. And listen, Glenn Gore this morning in his keynote was talking about tech debt, and some decisions do remediate tech debt. In some cases, tech debt can be almost instantaneous if you build technology that kind of stops you from growing, versus in some older technologies may not even be tech debt because it's not slowing the business down. Can you share with us maybe some of the architectural decisions that you had to make to avoid perhaps some of the tech debt, or maybe did you walk right into it knowing that it was going to become tech debt?
I think we try not to build tech debt, like nobody likes to work on tech debt.
It's how you sell it, right? It's how you describe tech debt. Cool new feature. Will only last for a week.
Cool new feature, needs to be rolled out last week.
Yeah.
No, I think we've got a policy at work where every code that you touch basically needs to improve. Like it can't be worse than what it was when you first got to it. So we work around small improvements rather than massive big re-architecture most of the time, and that's how we go.
Sounds like a bit of a microservice architecture.
Yeah, we definitely do microservice.
So there's a great question from Slopes AU. What is an example of something that 1Search can do that you can't do potentially on Elasticsearch?
I would have to go back to our iNav really. So our iNav really, if you go into the Carsales website and do a search, you will see on the left-hand side you see real-time count, real-time refinements that sort of drill downs and help you to look at vehicles that are available. So that's something that we do that Elasticsearch doesn't do yet at the
and
moment.
I think if you're a user of car sales or bike sales, that actually makes it's really easy to hone in. Like you can start off with maybe 30 cars for a specific thing, and you might select a specific sub model, and just drills down that facets.
But it's not just cars, right? And motorbikes. You guys do a lot more than. I think you do boats as well.
We do boats. We do industry vehicles. In our, I think I once found a plane in our South American market.
Plane.
A plane, like someone
How
was
cool is
selling
that?
a plane.
What was the going price?
I have no idea.
Well, fabulous. And so obviously search engines can make you really competitive against other organizations, right?
Yeah.
So the faceting on the way you search for information. You've done some pretty amazing things around that, like you were saying earlier. If you were to look back, would you have built your own search engine?
That's a tricky one.
I think you have to say yes here.
I have to say yes. Yes, we would have. But I think our next approach, this is from my perspective, I think we might collaborate and, build a plugin on top of Elasticsearch and share it back out with the community. That's what I think I would like to see us going towards.
So Jane, I know Carsales has a graduate program. What advice would you give, say, to my 8-year-old son who is listening to this today? He's currently playing with like Scratch, basic conditional loops. What would you advise the next generation?
I think you should give tech a go. I think companies like AWS have certainly make the entry level into tech a lot lower than when I first started. When I first started, I was coding on a small piece of code in a massive monolith, and that was really it. But we've got junior developers starting off now doing machine learning and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
We're getting our wind up, so we got to call it a day.
So thank you, Jane, for joining us here today, and we'll see you around, hopefully, throughout Summit.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. It's been a
No
lot of fun.
worries, thank you.
All right. Thanks all.
See you guys soon.